Powered by Riverside FM.
You're listening to the 2400 Block Podcast with Jonnyroobs.
Hello there, and welcome to the 2400 Block Podcast. It is Jonnyroobs here in the studio, and we are in for a feel-good episode tonight. And it starts with my guest. He is all in for God as he is serving in the ministries of the church. He is a devoted family man to his loving wife and their beautiful daughter. And lastly, he is an avid runner who absolutely loves running just about everywhere. And that he is a part of the sports club Sparc Worldwide. But to me and to everyone that knows him well, he's our longtime friend. So glad to have JoJo Presa on the show tonight. Let's give him a major round of applause.
I want to meet this guy. He seems pretty cool.
Hey JoJo, how are you doing tonight, man? How's your day?
How are you? Yeah, pretty good, man. Pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on this thing.
Is this your first live video podcast?
I think it's first live video podcast, but I've been on several other podcasts. So, yeah. That's
cool. Do you all have one devoted to running?
We do. So my friends and I, we co-founded a nonprofit run club in Virginia Beach called Sparc Worldwide. And within that, we formed a podcast as well, where we talk to people nationwide and worldwide about the I guess, running and running adjacent topics. So, yeah.
All right. That's cool. That's wonderful. All right. Anyways, I would like to take the time right now to point on two things. I'd like to take this time right now to wish you and your wife, Jana, a happy anniversary. 11 healthy years of marriage, man. Wow.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Hey, thank you for reminding me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you for reminding everyone on Facebook about it. So now we know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
We've had our trials, but for the most part, it's been a great ride together. So
nice. And also, may I add, I want to congratulate you on a job well done by making it to the finish line at the 2023 Bank of America Chicago Marathon, which was just, a couple of days ago, October 7th, 8th weekend to be exact. And I'm sure the excitement hasn't died down yet, right?
It hasn't. The post-running high is definitely a real thing. I never believed anybody, but I'm still feeling it to this day. I probably won't feel it until my next race. So.
Woo. Well, I definitely owe you one by way of this podcast tonight, since I couldn't be there that time due to prior commitments. But anyways, thank you for showing up here tonight, man. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This is such a blessing to be on other people's podcasts. So.
Yeah, cool. All right, but by the way, a shout out to the Medina family out there in Maryland as well in Chicago. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys. Ready for these set of interview questions that I'm going to ask you tonight, JoJo?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I promise to be kind. All right, I will slip this question out in the open to kick off this interviewing segment with you. But whatever happened to that podcast that y'all did way back in the pandemic era? I know you're active with other podcasts, like you noted earlier.
Yeah, you're probably referring to the Starting Four podcast. With my brothers, Mark, Anselmo, and Abel. We all grew up together. They're actually, my actual brother is Mark, and then his in-laws is Anselmo and Abel. So technically, I guess, we are brothers in a way. So I guess by law. So we formed a podcast, and man, I didn't know that anybody listened to that. Honestly, I don't know what we talked about. We were just talking about just nonsense.
You were talking about a whole bunch of things, and I was trying to go back to one of those episodes, and they're gone.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. I don't even remember that. Maybe 5-6 years ago, maybe. Yeah, we had a good time though. We had a good run, but it was time to part ways and do our own things. So
yeah. I was listening to you guys during the pandemic when I was delivering liquor and alcohol to people's homes, because that was essential, you know. And
Oh wow.
yeah, man, I just kept listening to the episodes. I'm like, man, this is so awesome. And then I talked to Mark about podcast equipment, and he told me about the Rodecaster Pro, which I'm talking to you right now on. So I actually thank him. So indirectly, you guys are like the forefathers, founding fathers, or whatever to my podcast. So you guys are somehow linked with me. So I just find that to be truly an honor, and I'm glad to be talking to one of them here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, your podcast is probably 100 times better than the one that we produced a long time ago. But
you guys were
like I said,
you guys were like hard to the core, man. And the best part is you guys just had fun. Y'all were just rolling with it, you know?
Yeah, we had no topic, no agenda. We just hopped on a mic and we were just.
That's what I love, man. That's the natural flow of it.
Yeah, it's just good conversation, you know.
Yeah.
My brothers, love them.
All right, okay, JoJo. Time for you to give a good promo plug, man. Tell the viewer or listener here about yourself and what you do for a living, besides drinking water.
I'm drinking tea right now, and
okay.
Big shout out to my friend from Have a Good Day, because this is one of her companies that she makes content for. It's Get Well Soon. It's actually Pusha T's wife's company, which is really cool. But anyways, so outside, are you talking about like what I do as an occupation?
Whatever, man. Whatever you can.
Okay,
this is the good sales plug right here, bro.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I am a husband, and I am a father to a beautiful daughter. Her name is JoJo Presa. As my full-time job, I work as an IT systems administrator for a company here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. But on my part-time or on my leisurely time, I like talking about running adjacent topics. A lot of times, my friends and I, we created a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is locally called Sparc, but the acronym for that is Support, Propel, Achieve, Run Club, and it's been making headway within the Virginia Beach 757 area, and yeah, I guess that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to ask you more about Sparc later on in the program.
Sure.
All right. Now, what was it like growing up as a Filipino kid in Virginia Beach?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I think it was difficult for me to identify as a Filipino because I didn't know exactly what Filipino was, you know? So I didn't really find out like my ethnicity until I was like maybe 9 or 10, maybe. When my parents started saying like, "Oh, well, you're Filipino. You're this and you're that," and I couldn't comprehend like what that meant. So I guess growing up, it was kind of eye-opening for me in a way, because I think the only reason why I knew that I was different was when I was in elementary school, and this boy, I don't remember what exactly he looked like, but I remember I was walking to my classroom. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and he yells out, "Chinese boy!" I was like, who's he talking to? Me? And so the whole time, like between like 6 to maybe 8 years old, I thought I was Chinese, and that wasn't the case. And actually, growing up here in Virginia Beach, I started noticing that there are a lot of people who are actually look like me. And I was like, oh man, this is awesome. This is great. And so from there, I started figuring out, okay, well, this is actually where I belong. This is really cool. Virginia Beach is a really cool place. If anybody wants to visit this place, you're right by the ocean. yeah, I did a lot of crazy knucklehead things growing up, but I guess that's for another topic, another day. But yeah.
Actually, I want just to slip in an unexpected question to you, man. Whatever
Okay.
happened to Robbie?
Oh man, yeah, Robbie. Robbie is such a good person, man. Yeah, we that's funny that you bring it up because I haven't seen him in like years, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure where he's at right now, but I do remember fond memories with Robbie. He's man, we used to clown around at Connect Group and Bible studies at church and stuff like that. He was. Shout out to Robbie. I don't know if anybody's seen him. Let me know.
Yeah,
I would like to
get
know
in
where
touch
he's
with
at,
any
too.
of us, Robbie, if you hear this or see this. By the way, I still remember you guys playfully locking on each other like MMA fighters right after Bible study that one night. You guys had like a good grip on each other, And I remember filming that moment on video. I still have it. It's in my mom's house somewhere. And
Oh,
it's
wow. I would
it's
like
in a
to see that.
shoebox. So I definitely have to unearth that treasure trove of videos. But by the way, I'm not showing it here in the podcast. I don't even have it with me anyways. I wouldn't even want to show it to you except in private. So
Nah, yeah.
no, I don't want to
if
show
you
that
ever
to
find it, just let me know. I would love to see
maybe
that.
as a way to get his attention. Maybe who knows?
yeah. All
right.
It would be shocking for him as well.
Yeah. I've known you for quite a long time now, especially when I attended, International Christian Church of Virginia, which was First Filipino Baptist Church back then. And your walk with God is as strong as ever. What's it like, dude, living as a Christian in these modern times where there's so much chaos and turmoil going on nationwide as well as around the world nowadays? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so I think my Christian walk is a roller coaster, just like everybody else's, and that's something that you need to embrace and be grateful for, because it's a constant growing. You're constantly growing. That's what I love about believing in a higher power, and what my higher power is, God or Jesus. There's a verse in Romans 5:3, and it says, suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And that's kind of like a growth chart to how your walk will be with Christ. A lot of times you're going to learn through suffering, and through that suffering, it puts like a shield on your back to withstand, which is called endurance. And that with that endurance, you build a type of character, which is hopefully Christ-like. And with that character, you believe that there is more that you can give to the world, which is hope. So if anybody's listening to this, you have a purpose in this world, and let your purpose intertwine with Jesus, and that's really.
Yeah. I went through some situations myself, some of which seemed very impossible at the time, but through humility and humbleness, man, that's the way to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way of life. It can't always be, super happy all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there. I mean, life is always going to be. It's not roses and daisies all the time. You're gonna have to go through hardships. But that's really how you do grow.
That's wonderful. Okay, moving on here. I moved to Orlando back in 2007. That's when I left you guys. I was 33 years old then. You were only 23. Last I saw you, you were playing the bass guitar on stage, being part of the ministries there in church. And I didn't know, dude, that you were, super talented like that. Fast forward now to 2023, I'm 49 years old. You're 39. You don't even look like it, by the way. And here we are.
Thank you.
You married Jana and are now proud parents to a little girl, Estelle Gray. And by the way, how has fatherhood changed your life?
Wow. Wow, that's a deep question, honestly. I think it changed a lot of my perspective in life. When you have something that is your own, then you feel like a responsibility that, look, this person is relying on me to not only feed them knowledge, but to be there for them in every trial, and the good or the bad. Fatherhood is, wow. Yeah, that's something I would have to process, honestly, because I never really sat down and thought about, oh, wow, like I'm responsible for another human life. And it's really rapidly helped my growth as a human being. And I think that's the intention. Like, you're always going to want to grow, like I've been, like, I guess, alluding to, and other people have different types of growth. And mine is finding out through my daughter. So,
yeah. You're the one to guide that person, man.
Yeah.
You're the one. You're like a leader in your own small community now. It's more than you now. It's your wife now. It's your kid. So, bigger responsibilities. Yeah, especially when you get older. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, man, I'm excited. She's like 7 years old. And she's every time she comes home, she's always like, she's always telling me like different jokes. So, like, yesterday, she was, man, what did she say? She said, it's like, Dad, someone told me that you sound like an owl. And I was like, me? And she was like, yeah, you. And I was like, who? And I was like, oh, there's the joke. I was like, I guess I do sound like an owl. I don't know where she's getting all these things, but it's funny cool. Because maybe she got it from YouTube. I have no idea, but
you haven't went up to her and like, you got a big head, yo. You have a big head, yo. No.
I mean, nah. She didn't really have a big head, but my wife, she's got one of those big, the big ones. But I like the big head. So
when you look at your daughter, do you see you in her, like the personality?
Gosh. Yeah. Like from the feet to the hands to the eyes, like everything about her looks like me. Which is like kind of scary. It's like a girl version of me. I guess she kind of looks like Jana in ways, but like for the most part, it's like if you were to catch me walking around like a Target, and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's definitely his daughter for sure.
So it's very obvious when you're both seen.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, I didn't see this one coming since I wasn't around for a long time. But, dude, tell me, how did you get into the sport of running?
Man, yeah, that's kind of a loaded question, but I'll give you kind of the condensed one.
Okay.
My wife, she actually got me into running. So she started running before we got married. And I was like, man, like, why is she enjoying this so much? Like, I don't get it. And so then when we got married, she was continuing to run, and I was like, oh shoot, well, I guess I'll have to support her. And so one day she comes up to me and she's like, yeah, so we're gonna run a 5K, and I'm going to sign you up, and we're gonna do it together. And I was like, it's like, you can't say like, you have to. I already signed you up. We're gonna do it. I was like, all right. And so in my head, I was like, man, how hard can like a 5K be? That doesn't sound like much. And so as soon as her and I towed the line, she was fantastic. I was not great, and it felt like the longest 3 miles of my life. And from there, it was kind of like a progressive thing. She would sign me up for more races, and until eventually I started asking her to do these races with me. And I progressed a lot quicker. I'm not too sure why, but I have the personality that I get addicted to things very quickly, and not trying to be the best or anything. I just get locked in and honed into something specific. Like even if it's like music, at a point I was like really like honed into music. And I do still play music, but like there's always this pivotal point where like I gotta learn this, I gotta learn that, I gotta learn that. And it was the exact same thing with running, and I'm still doing these things to this day. And yeah, that's really how I started running. I never would have imagined that I would run like a marathon or anything. But I think it was definitely in the cards. I just didn't see it. Yeah.
Wow. How did you prepare yourself for your first race? Did she really help condition you into this, this physique that you have?
No, so she didn't do. I didn't even know how to train for it. Like, what do you like? How would you, like, if you were to approach somebody who's never ran before, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna throw you into this 5K. Like, how would you prepare yourself? Like, would you just? So I went into the race cold turkey, not knowing how to run. But I think that was the first step. Like, not knowing how to do something made you want to learn how to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I found out very quickly that 5K is a very long 3 miles if you don't know what you're doing. And so I guess to revert a little back, she signed me up for another 5K, and in that one I kind of trained a little bit, so I started figuring out how to like breathe and stuff like that, and I did a little better in that. And then I found out that Disney does races also, so she signed me up for for a Disney race as well. And I was like, oh man, well, this is like a 10K. This is double the amount that I've ever ran in my life. Maybe I need to figure out how to run like pretty quickly. And I started actually trying to, I guess I was seeking out a plan to run a 10K, which is like 6 miles. So we did that. I guess I did pretty well in that. And then it was just like stepping stones of where I am right now. So thank you, Jana. Whenever this comes out, thank you for motivating me to start the sport that I actually hated.
Big shout out, Jana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golf clap.
All right. Man. Oh. That was one of my questions I was about to ask you here. How long did it take for you to go from having a gut to being super lean? How many weeks or how many days or how many months?
Man, that's I
still remember those photos that you showed, the before and after.
Yeah, that's an up and down thing. There was a point where I think this is kind of like the turning point in my life. My best friend, I'm not even sure. Do you remember Elric? Claudio?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Okay, yeah. So he was my best friend, and he passed away when he was like 32 years old.
Oh my goodness! That Elric. Oh, yeah. I remember now.
Yeah,
I remember him now.
He passed away from a heart attack, and it kind of flipped a switch in me that like life is too short and to take care of your body, because he wasn't the healthiest person in the world. I know that for a fact, and I didn't want my health I didn't want whatever I could control to be the detriment of why I pass. I mean, I would accept like how I die, but I wanted to take care of my temple. So I started just like exercising from there. It didn't start out from running. It started out just me doing like home workouts at home. It started out by just like walking around the block and stuff like that. And then that's when I started to go to the gym, started lifting a little heavier weights. And then I started like, oh man, this is kind of cool. And so it kind of started to be habitual until it wasn't habitual, and it was just like a daily thing that is a part of your day. So I like, for anybody who's listening to this, I feel like you need to have some type of daily activity that you do to take care of your temple for your body. It would be beneficial for anybody, really.
Do you do this just about every day, or I know you have some off days or cheat days? I do exercise pretty much daily, but I try not to do something like maybe once or twice a week. So that's an incorporation of like running, going to the gym, stuff like that. But there is always something that I try to actively do. Definitely. Yeah. Well. Okay. Here I am. I weigh more than you do. I know that for sure. I'm about maybe 180, 190 right now. I'm definitely not in good shape. Not like you, man. But how does a man of my stature, of my physique, get to that level? How long do you think it would take for a person like myself at this weight, at being obese that I am right now? What's the proper step you think? It would just take me simply by walking first, and then when I get adjusted to it, I can run, and then so forth. I don't know how it goes by, how you do it, but
yeah. I think it starts with baby steps. So take everything slow, take everything within moderation. If it takes just walking down your block, and then walking back to your house to get you moving, let it be that. And if after that walk it triggers you to want to do something else, like something a little more active, like it doesn't even have to be running. It could be like pickleball. I want to start playing pickleball. It could be like going out with your friends and shooting some billiards or something like that, because that's active. So long as you're getting active, making your heart a little more elevated than just sitting on a couch, I think that's the first step. And the second step would be to elevate your heart rate a little more. Third step is going above and beyond, breaking a sweat. And fourth is like incorporating it into your day. So yeah, just get up, walk down the street, or maybe walk to your grocery, and then walk back home. That's really how it starts.
I want to tell you something. Back in October 2021, I was with my friend. We just got out of the metro train, the commuter train that takes us to Chicago. It was like 5:30 in the morning, and we just got out, and it was still, nighttime. It still looked like nighttime. No sun was coming out until like maybe before 7 o'clock. We ate at Dunkin' Donuts first, the little small wrap and a coffee, and then we went outside. We started walking, and I think from the time of 7 up until maybe 1:30 or 2 o'clock, I made it all the way till somewhere in Edgewater, in that part of Chicago, going north. I was like at the lakefront trail right near. It's like a trail that's on towards the water or near the water. And I went about almost close to 38,000 steps in the end. 38,000 steps.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Yep. And I had on really good shoes too. I had Asics. Those are really good shoes.
Yeah, I love A6. But you speak on the waterfront. I ran there last Saturday. Man, that lakefront on Chicago, man, Chicago is just beautiful in general, man. I love that city.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Man, if there wasn't too much going on, I'm talking about like the bad things going on, I would love to be there like every single day. And I've never seen anything as worse than it is right now. Back then it was good up until maybe when the riots came. I was in the middle of a looting. That was one of the most scariest moments in my life.
Oh man,
Here I was just doing, work-related business, and all of a sudden people are like looting stores, businesses, local businesses.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man,
I didn't know how
that
to
crime was bad.
I didn't know how to maneuver out of that, man. It was like there's people running back and forth, and who knows, one of them might have a gun or something.
Yeah,
So
that's
my heart rate was really pumping that time. I was having I was having a panic attack, and my girlfriend was the one that had to calm my nerves.
Oh man, yeah. You probably had to get out there as soon as possible.
Yeah, and so glad I did too.
Yeah,
man, I'm glad you don't have to go through something like that.
Yeah.
And I hope you won't either.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've grown up here in Virginia Beach, and it's pretty tame for the most part. So I don't know the big city life, and I know, like, I can appreciate Chicago for what it is because I was there as a tourist, but I'm not there dwelling in the place, so I can't speak on the bad things that happen there. So
yeah. All right, moving on, my friend. You are a part of Sparc Worldwide. Of course, you said earlier that it meant Support, Propel, Achieve, Run Club. How did this nonprofit organization get established in the first place? What's the sole purpose of Sparc?
It's to get people off their feet and moving. And it's this idea that even outside of running, you should be supporting your friend, and you should be supporting them and propelling them to achieve whatever goal that they have within their life. That's really the backstory of the acronym. But the club actually started by one of my really good friends. His name is Edwin Young, and he created this Instagram page. It was called Anti-Social Social Run Club, where we would just share our daily run. So you would post your run on Instagram and just tag Anti-Social Social Run Club, and you would just share it digitally. And that was gaining traction. More people other than outside of our core friends started tagging the page. And then one day, my friend, Edwin, he was like tagging a bunch of us, his close friends, and say, "Hey, do you guys just want to run together one day?" And we're like, "Oh heck yeah, let's do it!" And so then we've had our first meetup as Anti-Social Social Run Club at Mount Trashmore. It was around Black Friday, and about maybe 15-20 people showed up, and we just had a 1 mile run around the big lake there. And then from there it just started blossoming and growing, and I guess we realized that having the name Anti-Social Social Run Club wouldn't hold in legal courts, I guess, because Anti-Social Social Club is actually a brand, and we didn't want to get sued or anything. So we kind of changed it. Well, I guess he changed it, and then from there he asked me to, I guess, help lead the group, which I guess you can say that I co-founded what it is right now. And yeah, it's been making headway and steam within our community, especially for the BIPOC people in in our community. People have been gravitating to it, and yeah, it's such an awesome time. If you're in Virginia Beach, and we meet up 8 o'clock Saturday mornings, and we try to partner with brands like last weekend we had a run with 3 Ships Coffee, really good coffee out here in Virginia Beach. Maybe a few Saturdays ago, we had an ASICS giveaway. It's just stuff like that. It's really cool to see a community come together and just do something so simple, which is running. So that's really what Sparc is about.
Wow, I see one of your videos. Is that everybody? That's like a big group. I just see you one time like you're holding an Insta360 cam or something, and then there's like these people behind you. Is that Sparc? Is that them? Is that the members?
So I do bring my 360 camera around very often, and I'm not sure the video that you're talking about, but yes, that could possibly be some of the members of Sparc. We're not as big as some other clubs around here in Virginia Beach, but we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting known within our community. So yeah, it's a good time.
Are y'all expanding? Are y'all having a Chicago chapter?
I don't know if we're that big enough yet to have a chapter just yet, but we are Sparc worldwide, and what we like to do is talk to people from different areas from the nation and the globe, and that's the reason why we created the podcast, is to not only inform the people who are going to our clubs, but to give others a bigger scope outside of our region, because I think that's very important. Like, because you need to know the culture of running in order to appreciate it even more, to bring it to your local community. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's
cool. Not just that too. It's cool to share perspectives with other runners, from different parts of the state, like maybe in California, maybe someone's running somewhere on Big Sur,
Yeah.
Or maybe someone's in Las Vegas running at the Las Vegas Strip. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
or
it's
you,
cool.
For example, running in the state park over there in Virginia Beach.
Yeah. That's what's really cool about seeing the running community as not just 757. This is us. It's. I like to see it as like, what are they doing at 313 in Detroit? What are they doing at 312 in Chicago? What are they doing at 808 in Hawaii? It's all these like different area codes that they have local running clubs as well. They're doing probably something way different than us, but it's cool to hear different perspectives, like you were saying.
Yeah. All right. How do you best your time with every marathon event? Like, if you looked at your time from last time, how would you improve it the next time around?
Yeah. So my friends and I, we completed the Chicago Marathon, and that was. I'm not too. I guess do you know a bit about like marathons and stuff like that?
No, talking to the wrong guy.
The Chicago Marathon is considered one of the world majors. So there's 6 of them. There's New York, Chicago, Boston, Tokyo, Berlin, and London, and these are like the biggest like marathons that you can ever do in your life. And so my friends and I, we took it to heart. Like this is one of the big ones. Let's let's put full effort into a training block. And so I hired a coach. My friends, they had a really good detailed training plan. And it involved a lot of like speed work, and it involved a lot of investing in your own time. Like, so I would probably shoot like 55, 60 miles a week at my peak. And that's probably like 8 to 12 hours out of my entire week. So it's kind of like a part-time job if you look at it that way. But yeah, investing time is the most that you can do to prepare yourself for like such a run like that. And that's exactly what my friends and I did. We invested time. We had to change our nutrition. We had to wake up at the buck crack of dawn and just get miles in just to train for this upcoming event. So
with every race that comes, what time do you normally have to be on site? Like really early in the morning, like 5, 6, even earlier than that?
Yeah, it's about 5 o'clock. For instance, a Chicago Marathon, they wanted the race doesn't start until, well, the first wave doesn't go until about 7:45, and they suggested that you be there by like 5 a.m. So we were there within the vicinity around 5 a.m. for like bag drop off and like getting in settled into your corrals and stuff like that. Yeah, probably 2 hours before the first gun goes off. That's probably the best time.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So by the way, it's 5 a.m. or 6 p.m., 6 a.m. How do you psych yourself before a race? Is there some sort of ritual? Do you take something to get to get yourself going? I'm not talking about energy drinks here. Anything else other than energy drinks?
Man, like, shoot. So I do. Like, I'm gonna be real. This training block, I was very anxious, because I wanted to do so well, and sometimes my anxiety gets like the best of me.
Yeah. But
I incorporated a lot of like reading, so I I was never always a reader, but I like to see things finished, I guess. So I like opening up a book, starting at page 1 and ending at page 200, and that kind of feels satisfying to me. And I think the reason why I do like reading right now is because of running, because you can't cheat a marathon as much as you want to. You'd have to go through like all the hardships in order to get to this one goal. But back to your question, what do I do to get psyched up?
Yeah,
I would try to find a quiet place, even though my head is going and racing like every time before a race, and I would just like read. I would pray. And then try to eat a little bit and hydrate myself. I really try to find peace within the storm that is going all the way, going in my head. So,
yeah. By the way, when you race, do you put on like music or audiobook or something?
I used to, yeah. Like when I'm training and I'm running by myself, yes, I do listen to music. Well, not really music. I listen to podcasts mostly because I just like hearing people converse. That's the reason. I guess that's the reason why I like podcasts. But when I'm actually racing, I don't really listen to music. So like for Chicago, for instance, I had my my aftershocks. but there was no music being played.
See,
Yeah,
I was just trying to ask that question because you had that around your,
yeah, yeah.
And I
so-
assumed that you were listening to music when you were running that time.
No, I honestly forgot to turn it on, because I would have, but I was like, okay, well, I'll let the crowd be my music, and I'm grateful that I did that because I could hear everything that's going on around me, which is I didn't want to miss that. So
Yeah. Hey, whenever you come down to the Chicago area, man, you can hang out with me in the suburbs. That's where I'm mainly at. That's why it's so hard for me to go to the city because my plans are always revolving around the suburbs area. It's a nice place. Some areas somewhat remind me of Virginia Beach.
oh sweet.
Oh, without the water, of course, but you still have wonderful homes. The Filipinos are not like the ones in Virginia Beach. The Filipinos here are more scattered around, and you just have to find them yourself somewhere. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that a lot of Filipinos lived here.
Yeah, it's funny. When we were in Chicago, we Ubered everywhere in the city, and we had this one Uber. Her name was Joanne, but we call her Ate Joanne because
really?
she's Filipino or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, and she would tell us yeah, there's not really that many Filipinos here, but I know most of them. So just let me know. And she was pointing out all these restaurants that we should try, that are Filipino. And she mentioned this one restaurant. It was called Uncle Mike's. Have you eaten at Uncle Mike's before?
Nope.
Okay. So it's
check
right
that out.
near Ashland Avenue or something. And they serve lugao and tapsilog and garlic rice and stuff like that. It really brought it home for me, and I thought that food was pretty good. So
That's cool. That's probably a small place because some Filipino restaurants they got good food, but it's just not enough room or enough seats or enough tables. But there's this one place that I know that's not far away from Chicago. It's maybe I say about maybe 20, 25 minutes from there. It's in a suburb called Niles, Illinois. And they have this one restaurant. Oh my gosh, so many tables, so many seats. It's good for your group. It's called Tita Mia's. So if you ever come by again, oh man, the food is just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll make that a priority. Hopefully we'll be there again next year.
Hopefully I'll be there with you guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. You need to watch the Chicago. Have you ever watched the Chicago Marathon go through?
No.
Man, it is, the energy is just something else, man. It's
Man, I can't believe I'm missing out. I've been here for 13 years, still haven't went to this event.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely, would love to, just to see you go and finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you know. Hopefully, wish me luck because the lottery to get into the 2024 Chicago Marathon is tomorrow. So I'm gonna re-enter myself in, and gosh, I'm hoping that they select me. So.
Oh man. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so.
Yeah.
Did Jana went to the race too? I think I
she
saw
did.
a picture of her. Yeah, I saw a picture of you both.
Yeah, she ran as well, and she completed as well. She did good for her first one. I was telling her that since this is her first one, no other marathon is gonna be like this, and it's not gonna have this high energy like all the like Chicago. But I'm glad that she finished. Oh, here's my medal.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah,
here you go. Bragging rights time.
Bingo.
Oh, look at that! Isn't that glorious?
Yeah,
beautiful.
It's one of my one of the good ones. So
yeah. Thanks for sharing that with the public.
Yeah, definitely.
Just a few more questions to ask you. Got about maybe 2 or 3 more questions to ask you here, and we're going to wrap it up. Sure. How much have you spent so far in running gear, and what do these consist of?
Probably more than I should. So, man, my whole closet is just full of running gear. I don't know if I ever wear regular clothes anymore. So if it's not athleisure, then it's probably not going to be worn. Like even at church, I wear like Lululemon athleisure t-shirt and athleisure casual pants. Yeah, so I've invested a lot of money into this sport. Like even shoes. Like I don't know if you remember back when I used to collect like a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
But I had to stop that that part of my life because it got too expensive. But now here I am running, and now I'm like buying even more shoes for running. So like my entire closet is just full of like running shoes now. And so it's like, oh man, I can never escape this this addiction that I have. But yeah, it's
you're wearing both of them right now. You're wearing
yeah.
gear.
So
check that out.
This is the Chicago finisher jacket. It's in a baby blue. I don't know why Chicago's colors blue and red. I never understood
it's
that.
because of the flag of Chicago. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah. Like it has 4 red stars and two blue stripes.
Oh, okay.
And there's something behind it. You can find it all on Google how the flag came about. Why do they have 4 stars and why do they have 2 blue bars? So it'll tell you right then and there.
Yeah. Oh, and so then this is one of the hats that I got from Chicago. It's in blue and white like we were talking about. But it's by this company called Tracksmith. Really cool people. We know a few people who actually work for this company, and they're doing amazing things within the running space. So, yeah, I spend way too much than I should on running gear. But yeah.
How many shoes do you think you've worn so far since running?
Oh man, shoot. I used to keep a list on Strava because you can track the mileage of what is being on your mileage for shoes. But I think probably like between 40 and 80 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
That were on my list now, but I've since retired some of them. Yeah, it's they say that it's one of the most it's one of the least expensive sports to get into. That's a lie. That's a lie. Don't believe them. So yeah.
All right. Of all the sneakers that your feet have worn for running, which is the best brand and why?
Man, boy.
Yeah, and now you see what kind of questions I come up with. with a 2-year-old kid messing with me every once in a while.
Yeah. So I would be hard pressed to say Asics because we not only do we have like close ties with the brand, but they make excellent shoes. So I guess right now it would be Asics, but ask me in like a few months and it'll probably be something totally different, you know.
And as you wear these shoes, they're like really comfortable, right? Right, like you're running, it feels very comfortable as you go.
Yeah.
And then absolutely. I know that some of these shoes wear out. Do they wear out like really quick?
So the running, the carbon plated ones, like the actual racing ones, they wear out pretty quick. But if you're like getting a daily trainer or something, those last for like miles. Probably you can get 500-600 miles out of them, which is a really long time for a pair of running shoes.
And that's worth the investment right there when you're mentioning it. See?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is the last question. This is going to be the most easiest question.
All right.
What's next for JoJo Presa?
That is something only God knows. But all I know is what is on my doorstep for the time being, and I think what it's looking like is growing our run club in a positive way and being a beacon of light for people who can't, who have no hope. And hopefully that beacon of light will reflect Jesus in some way. I'm going to keep running. I'm going to continue to be a dad. I'm going to continue to be a husband. Yeah, that's where I see myself right now. Yeah, that's it. That's right.
A good one.
That's
a good one. Good answer, man. Good answer.
Thank you.
All right, so you ready for this one?
Sure.
Time for your shout outs, man. Go for it.
All right, so I guess I'll shout out my people from Sparc. Shout out to Edwin Young, Stephanie Young, my wife, my homeboy John Dela Cruz, our creative director Micah Ongoko. Big shout out to people from A6, my friend Jarrett Butler, my friend Mari Tibbetts, people locally also, like at my home church, my pastor Mike. He's
Mike.
Yeah, he's been my guy. He's been my mentor for so many days and years. Shout out to my brother Mark, who always keeps me grounded, and Selmo and Abel, who always has my back. And I guess last but not least, my parents. I'll give out a shout out to my mom and dad for bringing me on this earth. And yeah, that's all.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, JoJo, for being a part of this podcast. I really appreciate you being here and for me owing you this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
And God bless you always in whatever you do, man. Whether it's running or your walk with God, or maybe having another child one day. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows what's in store?
You might.
I'm sorry, I put that plug out there. Oh, Jen is listening too. All right, so you take care, JoJo, and I'm gonna get this episode out right now, so you can see it. All right.
Peace.
Take care, man.
Later.
Later.